even those on incubators, but Lord, please work on this before you try to get to an incubator. Try to get it at the point that you can just gargle and keep your throat clear of this phlegm that you might feel. Experts provide a simple self-check that we can do every morning. And I do it, and it's really nice. I go out on the deck where I have some nice fresh air, and I deep breathe, and you hold your breath for at least 10 seconds. Now let's see how many of us can do that. Deep breathe, hold it for 10 seconds. Now, that test of that deep breath, if you complete it successfully without coughing, without discomfort, stiffness, and so forth, it proves that there is no fibrosis in your lungs. Okay? So that's good to just test. That's a self-check that you can do. In critical times, please self-check every morning in an environment with clean air or as clean as possible. Everyone should ensure that your mouth and throat are moist, never dry. Moist throat, never dry. Take a few sips of water every 15 minutes or so. Why? Because even if the virus gets into your mouth, drinking water or other liquids will wash it down through your throat and into your stomach. Once it hits your stomach, stomach acids and bacteria will kill it all. Isn't that interesting? So there's some interesting simple ideas or self-protective measures that you can take to keep yourself out of serious danger. If you don't drink water more regularly, drink water more regularly. The virus can enter your windpipe into the lungs. This is very dangerous. So please do everything to ensure your safety during this coronavirus pandemic. Number 7 in our countdown is visualization. I want you to close your eyes. Let's do deep breathing like we did before. Find a moment and for just now let's do this also. Let's rotate our head first to the right, get back, and rotate it to the left. To the right, and back to the left. To the right, and back to the left. Now, I want you to breathe in again and out, but this time I want you to do it forcefully. Let's breathe back, take a count of 5. Okay? And blow out forcefully through your mouth. That also clears the lungs and helps you to really be in a better state. Okay, let's do it again. Okay? Do that another 3 times, okay? Breathe in and forcefully breathe out. Now, When you breathe in, I want you to breathe in love, prosperity, health, balance, and serenity. Let's do that. Hold it. And now breathe out slowly this time. You're breathing out negativity, doubt, worry, and the things that you really don't need in your system. Psychic, emotional, physical, or otherwise. Okay? Now I want you to relax your mind and body. And I want to take you on a little trip. I'm going to count from 10 to 1. I want you to close your eyes and I want you to go on a little visualization trip. Now, I've actually been to this place. It's Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa. And I'm going to go to the rainforest mountain. And I want you to travel with me. But you're going to be alone. We're all taking the path alone, but I want you to go. All right? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're at the top of Mount Kilimanjaro and we're entering a rainforest. As we step into this narrow path, we are immediately struck by the beauty of the flora. The huge leaves, elephant leaves, just reach out and seem to embrace us. The beautiful trees hanging over with vines that they are just so ever encompassing and so beautiful and so receptive. They seem to welcome us. Yes, they seem to just welcome us there. As we continue down this winding, narrow path, oh, by the way, we're wearing sleeveless shirts. Some of you are wearing shorts. And some of us are wearing, oh, maybe the long traditional attire. But even so, you put your face up and you feel the moisture from the rainforest on your face and your arms and your feet. And you continue walking down this narrow path and just enjoying the passage. Oh, there's a beautiful patch of flowers. And how beautiful the flowers. How very beautiful. In all colors, lavenders, peach, blue, pink. What beautiful flowers there are in that rainforest. Well, as we wind down, we keep walking, and oh, a monkey just plowed across in front of us, leaping from one branch to the other. It startled us, but well, then you smile. You continue down this winding path, just relaxing. And although you are alone, you don't feel lonely. You don't feel lonely. You feel at one with the universe. You feel at one with the universe. And then we come to a plateau. And through the leaves in the rainforest, we see the sun shining, beaming light through. And as we look out through this opening, we see this waterfall in the distance. 1,000-foot waterfall. The water is flowing down forcefully, past on the side, green foliage and so forth. But the flow is so beautiful, so beautiful. And we can see above it a rainbow, a multicolored rainbow, and how beautiful it is. The eyes. Oh, we are relaxed as we continue down this winding path. We finally get to the bottom, and we're in a small meadow. And in front of us, there is a small winding creek. Go over. I see a stump. Go over and have a seat on that stump. And next to it is a brown paper bag. I want you to sit down on the stump. And I want you to take a deep breath again. And I want you to think of all the things that bug you, all the things that seem to be problematic for you at this moment. What are your worries? What are your sorrows? What are the things that bother you? And I want you one by one to put each of those items in that brown bag. One by one, put them in the bag. Fold them up and put them in the bag. And now just fill that bag up. Oh, it might be, whatever. It might be the dissonance you feel because someone said something impolite, or it might be the fact that you can't drive your car now, or you can't go anywhere, or you are stuck at home, whatever it is that bothers you. It might be the kids hollering in the background, my goodness, because they're stir crazy and they're tired of being inside too. In any case, just put all those worries, all those bothers, all those concerns in that brown bag. And then once you finish putting it in there, I want you to fold it down, and I want you just to throw it into the stream. All those worries are biodegradable, and they will just float away and melt into the environment. It's okay. And now I want you to take another deep breath. Slowly exhale. Again, breathing in the fresh air, the sense of balance, the sense of contentment, the sense of being able to handle the worst in our lifetime. Tragedy, loss of life, and the difficulties that are occurring in our worldwide environment at this point. Breathe the negativity, the anger, breathe it out. Get rid of it. Your system, both psychological, emotional, and physical, fare better when you can reduce the stress. Increase your protection against it, but try to reduce the stress and maintain a balance. And also be thankful that you are still alive. We've lost so many of our people, so many. Another deep breath. Exhale. And I'm going to count back from 1 to 10, and we'll come back this space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Slowly open your eyes and rejoin us. I hope you feel a little bit more relaxed now, and we will continue. That was our visualization. You actually just experienced a portion of an exercise called progressive relaxation. And we did, of course, the visualization. And perhaps you can go at another time to Lotus of 1,000 Petals, which gives you the complete exercise. That's on BRIC, and it's also on YouTube under 1,001 Ways to Cope with Stress. Lotus of 1,000 Petals. Now let's go to number 8. Number 8 is the letter I. I for innovation. I for innovation. Let's try to discover one new way that you can take this existential threat and turn it into a positive. Let your mind be open. This event in our lives is like no other. Let's quiet our bodies and be still. And think of at least one way, something you can think, do, or say, one way, or construct that something that could make a difference in your life and that of another's more positive. It might be something very simple, but think of one way that you can help another feel better about this tragic situation that is occurring in all of our lives. And to make our position, at least our attitude, more positive in handling the stress of having our lifestyle turned on its head, coping with the fears, the anger, the sense of deprivation, and especially the sense of uncertainty and anxiety. Innovation, letter I. Now for letter number 9, we have R for rest. And remember, we're spelling the word coronavirus, okay? So we're now at the number 9 or R. Now rest is a very simple one. Get as much of it as possible. Try to get at least 8 hours a day where possible, more if you need it, because you don't have to get up and go to work. Of course, families now have the children 24/7. But find a way for you to get your rest. When our minds and our bodies are stressed, we respond with a fight or flight reaction. There are chemicals that are released which make us feel uptight and ready to either flee the scene or fight within the scene, fight the attacker. Now, certainly we need to fight this virus, but we want you to understand that rest is very important in reaching that solution. There's a thing that we have in spiritual healing called spiritual shielding and healing. And again, that is something that you can consult with the pranic healers of the Noble Touch to find out more about that. But that is very important. Also, Master Delpe at WIIDglobal.com can teach you something about that. I did gargle this morning. Number 10 is U for unified attitude. U for unified attitude. Stay positive, stay resolute. Act as though you have the virus. It was Dr. Sanjay Gupta that suggested that, and I've been doing that ever since. Act as though you have the virus and that you're trying to not only clear yourself of the virus, but you want to protect your family and loved ones as well as the general public from getting it from you. So do all the steps that we suggest, because it will not only cure it, you never know. Some of us may have had it, you don't know. But you may have cleared it up by doing these various exercises and watching out for others. There is no better time than to be concerned about yourself, your self-preservation, but also the lives of those you love and others who you may not know, the general public. You will be serving yourself, your neighbors, and your community from spreading the virus. Unified attitude, number 10. Now let's go to number 11 is S, spiritual journey. Spiritual journey. If you believe in karma, you believe that what you put out there in the universe comes full circle like a boomerang right back to you. When you wash your hands, you'll expect others to wash theirs. If you don't wash your hands, then somehow or other that deflection gets back on you. You know, Mother Nature is very angry at us humans. I'll repeat that. Mother Nature is very angry with us humans. We have taken the gift, the beauty of our universe, the beauty of our community, the trees, the streams, the parks, the woods, the ocean, and how so many of us love the ocean. We run to the beaches as soon as we can, as often as we can. But you know, we've not been too kind. I start with some of the children that I work with in the grade schools. And I tell them, when I see them pass by the house and drop paper, candy wrappers, newspapers on the ground, pick that up Yes, pick that up. There's a receptacle right there at the corner. Walk a few feet. Put that paper there. Keep your area, your community clean. It always comes as a shocker, especially when they're walking with their mama, who should have told them in the first place not to drop it. But anyhow, Mother Nature, back to what I was saying, is angry with us. How does Mother Nature respond? Well, when we misuse and abuse the gift of this once beautiful earth that we were afforded, that we have been given, or shall I say, loaned, for us to use, but not to take over, not to destroy, not to disrespect. We need to understand that the tsunamis, the oceans swallowing us up, the ferocious fires enveloping our communities, destroying their homes, all of these things which were once beautiful, the rainforests even, are being destroyed for our gluttony, So this once beautiful earth is pushing back against us. The life-sustaining forests are being devastated. Tornadoes, devastating forest fires, consuming homes, our lives. We need to apologize and ask Mother Nature for forgiveness for our trespassing. We need to take on a different model for our lives. The Indians have a prayer. Ask for forgiveness. It is, I'm sorry. Next, please forgive me. Thank you, and I love you. Give thanks to the Creator who has made it possible for us to be here. Give thanks to the Creator for the gift. It's funny how somewhere between sleep and wakefulness, we often have dreams and sort of like visual cues that we are not always sure how we connect it. And I awakened from a dream the other morning where I could remember my mother taking a small paring knife and cutting out each triangle of grapefruit or an orange for my father's breakfast, which she religiously prepared each morning. And I don't know why that visual imagery came up, but I guess because I had been thinking about spiritual journey, it was like a reminder of how little snippets of our past, of our heritage come forward to remind us to be grateful, to be thankful for mothers who took that much care of our fathers and of us. Because I remember clearly how all of the biscuits that we ate were made from scratch, how all of the food that my mother prepared was organic, before we use the word organic. I remember the way she would send me out to the back lawn to a patch of mint to bring in for our tea, our lemonade. I remember. I also remembered after coming out of sleep how my mother would roll all the dirty clothes and sheets and, there were 5 of us, mother of 5. And how she would roll all the dirty sheets and the clothing up in a sheet, tie the sheet in knots and roll it down the stairs, one flight, and then down another flight to the cellar where she washed them. I don't know why that came to me at that point when I was thinking about my writing on spiritual journey. But yes, I do know why. And I'm grateful for that recollection. I am so grateful for that recollection. So we've now completed coronavirus with the letters, the first letter of each word that I compose. Now let's go to pandemic. And I start that, no surprise to me, I start that off with P for prayer and pranic healing. Pranic spelled P-R-A-N-I-C, pranic healing. This is a time for prayer, even if you didn't used to do it. This is a time for prayer. Most of us accept that there is a universal source, a creator of all things, greater than ourselves. Let us pray for the earth, for its inhabitants, for our continuation on this planet, for our greater understanding and appreciation. Pranic healing is one way of opening ourselves to a new understanding of the possibilities. It is the practice of trained enablers who, acting as conduits for prana, our life force, in the universe to heal diseases by using their hands in a non-tactile fashion, oftentimes even remotely from great distances. I refer you again to the nobletouch.com, a group of energy workers who during this period are healing COVID-19 patients. As a unit, they work from their individual homes or institutions and work together. And this organization, as I said earlier, is conducted by the master trainer and healer, Mr. Jeffrey Nobles. You can go and find out more about pranic healing by going on that website and attending their weekly sessions for anyone who's interested in having that additional help. Okay, now number 13 is A for action. Action, be proactive. Be ahead rather than behind in your approach and resolution to this seriously dangerous virus. Action. Fourteen is network. Network. Yes, form a network with your family. Do it on, you can do it on your computer, your iPhones, you know, be in touch with your friends that way, but not directly. Needing to go to a party or needing to hang out in the streets or needing to go here and there just because you're itsy and nervous about being inside. There are so many ways to handle action. Sometimes being still is a form of action. Being still, being reflective is a way of being in action. Network, get informed, follow competent, authoritative news, sources of investigation, reporters, and such as CNN, New York Times, and I'm sure you can think of others. Resort to bona fide authoritative sources for updates. Try to stay away from and do not advance unfounded rumors, myths, or sources. You know who they are. It is positively dangerous for the healing of our nation and the world to listen to people who are directing us in the wrong way, who are telling us the things that are effective are ineffective, have not been proven to be effective. Please pay attention. Number 15 is distance. Keep your distance at least 6 to 8 feet apart. Wear your mask. Stay physically distant, but spiritually connected. I like that one. Stay physically distant, but spiritually connected. I have to so often on either the Zoom or on my iPhone, I have to hug my friend this way and greet them this way. Knowing that we can't be in physical contact, that's all good for now. You know that I'm connected. You know that I have feeling for you. You know that I love you, but I'm not going to be being with you right now. So let's become and remain physically distant, resolute, but spiritually connected in our behavior. If you will really understand, and I speak especially to our youth, who I saw before leaving the city out playing basketball in large groups. Eventually, I believe the governor had to close the parks because of that. We just have to not do that. And to those youth, I say, you are not invincible. It can collect and carry you off to distant places, just as it can carry the elderly off. You are not invincible. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay home. Stay on your, what are the things that youth play with now? You can get on the your different social media apparatus to stay in touch. You can talk and joke and play there. You can even play games on those. But it's not over yet. We're getting reports each day that says you must stay home and stay your distance. Now we are going to number 16, which is E for eat. Eat healthy. And I just jotted down a bunch of things that I think are important. I mean, I'm sure that the health and gurus for the holistic health will have much more they can add to it, and you should, of course, treat them as a resource. Go online and find out the things that you can eat that you know are healthy. But the things that come to my mind are, of course, solids, fresh fruit and fresh vegetables, eat plant-based foods, more vegetarian meals. Make sure that you do your tea with ginger and lemon. Ginseng is very important. I don't know, well, of course, vitamin D is the sun. So if you can't get out as much, it's a good idea to supplement your diet with vitamin D. Get some zinc. Zinc is very important. Certain of your oils. Some people use the CBD oils. You can use oranges, lemon, hot tea. Plan more vegetarian meals. Definitely try to get away from the greasy fried foods. Those, you want things that will strengthen your immune system and keep it strong. I've got notes up here, elderberry and alkaline water, or at least filtered water if at all possible. And so on and so on. Anyhow, eat healthy. Again, there are many resources on your computer, and you can go on those to get ideas for eating healthy. And now number 17 is M for the big mental health imperative. Mental health imperative. I'm a New York State certified mental health consultant and have been so for many decades. I'm not that many decades old, am I? But anyhow, I think that mental health is one of the greatest challenges for this century. We need to embrace the needs for the application of and the effective administering the tools for mental health. We need to establish and carry out a national protocol, a national commitment to the people of our nation to ensure healthy emotional conduct from early childhood to the centenarians. We need to respect each age when developed to ensure mental health for all. We need to ensure a continuity of purpose and a meaningfulness in our lives and in the life of our nation. National mental health must be a priority. Mental health. And of course, I could go on for days on just that one topic, but I'll leave it at that for now because I'm just trying to list items that I feel are important for us to concern ourselves with in terms of handling this pandemic. Number 18 is I for the immune system. Immune system. Preventative measures to increase your immunity and to fight the coronavirus is extremely important. Whatever we can do to increase the validity and the strength of our immune system is extremely important. Don't be afraid of the virus because that actually, interestingly enough, can actually increase a chemical that tends to lower your immunity. So fear is not going to be very helpful. What you want to do is protect yourself from that. So be mindful and do those things that will make for a strong immune system. Now, we've done some of them, had something to do with the exercising, the food intake. Your mental attitude is extremely important for increasing your immune system. And all of these things collectively will increase your ability to prevent it from happening to you, and of course, sharing that with others. And finally, number 19 is C for coping creatively. Coping creatively. This is a very important point, as are the others, but this one is where you can bring to play your own ideas of how you can work this situation out. Here you are, constrained in isolation, essentially, not able to go out and do the things that you ordinarily would be doing, but now is the time for, I think they have computer games, playing tennis, computer games for golf, for all kinds of things that you can do inside that you can do while practicing the distancing. So cope creatively. I think of a number of things which I'm going to share with you, but I think that first of all, for example, I'm doing teletherapy with the children that I would be ordinarily driving distances, great distances, to see. I now put them up on Zoom, and we have a lot of fun. I went the other day for a walk with a young child, 4 years of age, with his mother, his older brother, and they were scootering down the street. So I went on a scooter trip as we worked out our therapy session for that day. And then when we got back home, we talked a little bit about the feelings that he was having, about not being able to see his friends in his early learn program. And this way he had made fun of it, So children are very adaptive. And if we can create, as the adults in their lives, different things that they can do. I've worked with some of the children where the mothers would sit next to the screen and supervise, as I would do if I were present there, the drawing or the painting. They've done watercolors, they've done constructions with their Lego blocks. And I, of course, praise them through the screen while the mother is there, which is an additive, because the mother, who ordinarily wouldn't be present in a session that I was doing with their child, she'd be at work, she's getting another dimension of her child and seeing the way play therapy is done. So there's so many positives that we can see even out of this very devastating negative experience. So the early learn child can benefit from that. And of course, the parents. I know that you might feel at times a little overwhelmed by having all the children at home 24/7, but you can have time out when they nap, and they should. You should take yours at the same time so that the family doesn't feel overly stressed. But coping creatively is something that you can make as a game as well. See how, I saw on the news that, there's an upturn in terms of people purchasing wines and liquors and so forth. And from one liquor store, I think it was in Maryland, the storekeeper had armed the dog with a satchel, which had a place for the bottles that the customers were buying outside. And the dog would carry walk outside, the customer would take the bottles for which they had already paid by credit card and go on their merry way, and the dog would come in, wagging his tail, and get a little treat for his errand. So even dogs are working hard. I know that Fudge, my dog, I don't know where he is now. He's oversleeping on the mat. But he's been very instrumental. He goes out to the mailbox and gets my mail and brings it in to me. I'd love to show you a picture of that sometime. But anyhow, there are ways that you can creatively cope. And I recommend and suggest that to you. I would like also to just mention a couple of things, some whom I have already mentioned. I mentioned Master Delpay. You might want to get his book or look at the book. That might also, reading is another way of creatively using your time. The Dark Night of the Soul of Humanity. I have not had an opportunity to buy it or to get it yet, but I do intend to. But that's Master Delpay, D-E-L-P-E, Beyond the Dark Night of the Soul of Humanity. And I have referred you earlier to his website that you can go for coping creatively. I have mentioned, I had mentioned the Noble Touch, of course, a number of times. You can go on that website, thenobletouch.com, or .org, I believe. And I also want to apprise you of the Noble Touch doing sessions for the general public, but also for seniors every Wednesday at, I believe, 1 o'clock. I also want to refer you to Queen of Four Heals. That's A-F-U-A, Queen of Four Heals, H-E-A-L-S. And that's queenoffour.com. You can go on Facebook and see her. She has different suggestions in terms of dealing with this horrible travesty for our environment, for our people. And so another thing that I would say in terms of coping creatively, I planted in the fall, actually before I knew about this pandemic, some beautiful tulip bulbs. And they are now just buds, but they're coming out. And so you can also plant some vegetables or fruits or flowers in your window box. When you get an opportunity, if you have a yard, plant a tree in the yard and watch it thrive, watch it grow. Too often we're in a period where things are so devastated, we tend to withdraw into ourselves. Well, for reflection purposes, that might be a good idea, but for purposes of really adventuring into life and accepting life with all of its vicissitudes, and you need to do something active. But grow a tree. Be of service to someone. Like call friends that are elders in your community that you would not ordinarily talk with, but are members of maybe a church where they cannot gather. See if you can be of help to them in some way. When you extend yourself, you not only improve the community, but you improve yourself. You feel good about yourself when you're helping others. That's very important. So those things for coping creatively. That was number 19. And so that concludes our coronavirus pandemic. I would just like to say a few words in closing, and I would want you to just stay with me for a bit longer. So in closing, I'd just like to say, let us plant life. Plant life force, or prana, P-R-A-N-A, prana, life force. Or plant flowers, fruits, vegetables, seeds of positivity. Plant seeds of sunshine to be reaped later in life. Let us pay down on our karma debt. Our karmic debt is the whole concept of what we do here, goes full circle, and we pay for later. Being of service to our community, promoting happiness, health, prosperity, spiritual enlightenment for all, those are things that we can do, even in the seclusion of our homes. Dr. John Bowling a very dear friend of mine, and also was a very frequent visitor on my show, 1001 Ways to Cope with Stress. The late psychiatrist stated that there is a paradigm shift coming. Shortly before his death, I believe about 5 years or so ago, I entertained the group, Mandala Group, which was organized by Dr. Bowling. And he talked at that time about how literally scary this period was going to be. I don't think he's a very spiritual man, but I don't think he knew that this virus was coming at that time. But I certainly know that he said there was a paradigm shift that would be occurring shortly, and that there would be big changes taking place that the world had not seen. Now, Dr. Bowling, John Bowling, was a psychiatrist who had written a number of books, and you might want to get a hold of some of those. He was so sensitive to the times, and he worked throughout his professional life to help us to be enlightened. And I was so pleased to be a part of his organization, because he taught us how we increase ourselves by sharing, by being a part of a larger life than ourselves. Oh, it's so wonderful to have nice clothes and nice cars and nice homes, nice apartments. All of that is so nice. And I do feel extremely, extremely blessed to have had parents who lived together, raising 5 children in our home in the Midwest, in a home that he had been in since his childhood, and a whole complex of homes where the great-grandfather lived and the grandfather lived with his family. An incredible experience to have parents who, for 65 years before my mother's death, lived together in marital bliss for the most part, but you can imagine what a home with 5 very active, very independent children would be like. So anyhow, my mother, who stalled her own education, she was a musicologist. My father, a research physiologist at the Lilly and Company for many years. They instilled in us the need to grow and develop our minds. And they'd always say, oh yeah, you're cute, but you better put something up here, because that cute will not last for very long. And I'm a witness to that. But you try to instill in your children what your parents have instilled in you. Or if you've been lucky, other people as well, your teachers, your mentors, people who in your life have valued your existence, who have kept you close to what is real. What is real. I would like, at this point, in closing, to share with you a reading. Now, this book is, it's messed up now because I use it all the time. But Mark Nepo, N-E-P-O, in his book of Awakening, having the life you want by being present in the life you have. I'd like to share that with you. For each day of the year, he has a different meditation that he has forwarded to us. And I'd like to read that, and I'd like for you to share this meditation with me before we close. And ironically, this meditation occurred on September the 25th, which is my birthday. To hunt or hide. If to hunt or hide is twin-edged madness, then face the courage to risk and receive. I close my eyes and am impelled by light. Robert Mason. We spend so much of our time on earth running after or running from. In our want of love, we chase after someone or set ourselves up as bait. In our dreams of success, we hunt after goals and hide from what we or others perceive as failure. And none of the strategizing to land a job or the hiding in order to prevent being hurt can reward us with peace or protect us from life. We often fantasize in secret, imagining that life is better elsewhere if we would or could just get there. We often work harder in our dreams than in our life. We tend to do this with our want for a more satisfying relationship. We imagine that somewhere outside of the life we're living, there waits a man or woman who will elevate all our pain and all our numbness. So we hide our dissatisfaction with the life we're created. We hide our dissatisfaction with the life we've created and secretly hunt for an imagined cure for what it means to be who we are. As Robert Mason so wisely infers, our recourse to complacency and unhappiness is not to hunt for bigger gain or to hide our deepest hurts, nor is it to move our inner furniture to another town or bedroom. Our greatest chance to change our life is to close our habits of mind and to open our ever-virgin hearts. Let me repeat that. And it brings me to tears. Our greatest chance to change our life is to close our habits of mind and to open our ever-virgin hearts. I'd like to request that we all close our eyes and breathe slowly while I share with you the meditation offered by Mark Nepple. Close your eyes and breathe slowly. Imagine that what wakes in you has lived forever. and that it wakes within a soft and resilient casing of tissue that will take you wherever you want. That you have these delicate surfaces through which to feel wind and see light and sense the spirit of everything else that has lived forever. Imagine that once awake, you walk in a world where small creatures fly about our heads and sing, where colorful, juicy things grow on trees, that you can eat what grows from dirt. Imagine that there is always water running nearby, that you can wash the tiredness from your face as often as you like. Imagine that once awake, you live in a time where there are others who can talk to about this miracle of being alive. Others you can laugh with and cry with, and others you can love. Imagine you can open your eyes and dance in a world where water fall from the sky. I repeat that. Imagine you can open your eyes and dance in a world where water can fall from the sky. That you can open your throat and song can come from it. That you can find the sun and let it warm the flower of you into being. Now, open your eyes and receive that it is all true. It is all here. It is all now. Thank you. I am Kenshasa Shabaka. I love you. Love yourself and love each other.